You've probably seen the videos, right? Those dancing robot dogs, the surprisingly affordable humanoids. Yeah, that's Unitree, a Chinese robotics company that is suddenly all over your feed. But this isn't just about cool viral videos. No, this is about a massive strategic bet that the best way to win the AI race is to first conquer the world of hardware.
So to really get what they're doing, we're going to break it all down. We'll start with their core bet on hardware. Then we'll look at the playbook they're borrowing from, see who's bankrolling them, and uncover the secret sauce for how they build it all. And finally, we'll connect it to China's huge national strategy and figure out what it all means for the future of AI. So, in a world that is completely obsessed with AI software and large language models, here's the real question. How do you actually win the race to build the robots themselves? How do you put one in every factory, every farm, and eventually every home? Well, Unitree has a pretty radical answer.
Okay, it all starts with their one big bet. And it's a simple one. Forget the AI software craze for just a moment. For Unitree, the winning strategy is all about the physical stuff. Hardware comes first, period.
So what does hardware first actually mean? Well, it means that while pretty much everyone else is focused on creating the AI brain, Unitree is completely obsessed with perfecting the physical body. Their goal is to build reliable robots at a massive scale and just get them into the hands of as many people as possible. For them, the robot is the product.
Now, if this strategy sounds a little familiar, well, it should. Unitree is basically ripping a page straight from the playbook perfected by another Chinese hardware giant, the drone maker DJI. The goal is simple: commoditize the entire robotics market. And they're doing it with just brutally aggressive pricing. I mean, look at this. Their G1 humanoid is already undercutting Tesla's Optimus. But here's the real jaw-dropper, the R1 model. We're talking somewhere around $6,000. That's not just cheap for a robot. That is cheaper than a lot of used cars.
And this, right here, is the core of the playbook. See, it's not just about selling cheap robots. It's about using that insane price to become the essential foundation for everything else. The goal is to be the Android of robotics, the default hardware that every single developer in the world ends up building their software on top of. And the prize they're all fighting for? It's enormous. The global robotics market is projected to hit nearly $180 billion by 2033. But here's the key detail. The biggest piece of that pie isn't software. It's the hardware, the physical nuts and bolts. And that's exactly the territory Unitree is claiming.
But here's the thing. Unitree isn't doing this alone. To see how serious this gambit is, you just have to follow the money. And this isn't coming from your typical venture capital firm. This is a strategic alliance of absolute tech giants.
I mean, the investor list is a who's who of Chinese tech and industry. We're talking Tencent, the gaming and social media behemoth, Alibaba, the e-commerce titan, China Mobile, a massive telecom provider, and Geely, a global automotive player. This is not just a vote of confidence. This is a strategic alignment. And here's why those specific investors matter so much. They're all building these massive AI brains, these huge software ecosystems. But an AI brain needs a body to interact with the real world. By backing Unitree, they're guaranteeing a supply of affordable, scalable robot bodies for their own AI to live in. Okay, so that raises the big question, right? How on earth can Unitree offer these high-performance robots at such low prices? The secret lies in their engineering philosophy. They build everything themselves. This quote from the founder Wang Xingxing really says it all. The entire company is just laser-focused on solving the hardware problem first. Make it cheaper, make it bigger, and make it more reliable. And they pull this off through some seriously intense vertical integration. Instead of buying expensive parts off the shelf, Unitree builds the most critical, high-cost components themselves. They design their own motors for speed and efficiency. They engineer their own gear systems, the joints of the robot. They create their own controllers and sensors. This total control over the supply chain is their secret sauce. It's what allows them to slash costs while boosting performance. And this leads to a fascinating insight from Unitree's CEO. He argues the hardware is already good enough. The real bottleneck is the embodied AI, the brain. So Unitree's strategy is simple. mass-produce the physical body the world needs, so that when the ChatGPT moment for robotics finally arrives, their hardware will be the stage it all happens on.
But Unitree isn't operating in a vacuum. This entire hardware gambit is being propelled forward by a powerful national strategy. They have a massive tailwind at their back.
Yeah, this isn't happening by accident. It's part of a very deliberate, long-term national plan. Starting with Made in China 2025, Beijing identified robotics as a critical industry, and they've poured hundreds of billions of dollars into one clear goal: becoming the world's robotics leader by 2025.
And the results are staggering. In 2023, China installed more industrial robots than the rest of the world combined. For a company like Unitree, this means a massive home market to sell into and a hyper-developed supply chain to build from.
This whole-of-nation approach essentially removes a ton of the risk for Unitree. They get state funding, easy access to local suppliers, and guaranteed orders from huge domestic companies. It's like putting their entire business on a rocket booster.
So, let's bring this all together. What is the big takeaway from Unitree's hardware-first gambit?
It all comes down to an incredibly powerful combination. You have the disrupted DJI playbook to capture the market, backed by tech giants who desperately need the hardware. This is all powered by deep in-house engineering that controls cost, and the entire thing is accelerated by a national government determined to win the robotics race.
And that brings us to the really big question. Unitree's gambit is racing to create a world where the physical body for an AI is common and costs less than a car. So the question we're all left with is what happens next?